Star Wars geek girls. They're geek girls that like Star Wars. And sometimes cry.
Hello and welcome to Star Wars Geek Girl. I'm here with Lizzie after a little while.
Yeah, hi. Been
Um,
road tripping.
We're gonna talk about Book of Boba Fett. I did a podcast on the first chapter with Jonah and a podcast on the second chapter with my friend Colin. Because everything's been busy and hard to schedule and everything.
Yes.
But you're back.
I am back. I've just been really stressed with school. And then I had first I had to road trip back up to New York from Florida. That was kind of fun. I saw your dad and he gave me my stuff and that was cool. And he witnessed me in shorts in 20-degree weather.
Why did you do that?
Because I was coming from Aiken from South Carolina. And I had shorts on because it was hot. And then I came up and it was freezing cold. So
Yeah.
But yeah, now I'm here and now I'm stressed with classes and stuff. I have 3 tests this week.
Ouch. You guys just started.
I know, right?
I just had my first week of class and it was just like, this is what a syllabus is. And it was like, great.
Yeah. Well, okay, it's a little different because I have 3-week classes. So I have
okay.
one
That
3-week class. Yeah.
I was thinking now, regular length classes. I was like, what did you learn?
Yeah, I mean my other class that's not 3-week, it's just a whole semester. It's just hey, yeah, this is a syllabus. Hey, turn in a paper, but just so I know you know how to turn it in. It doesn't have to have anything on it. I was like, oh, awesome, lit. And then at my other class, he's like, okay, you have a midterm tomorrow and you have your final exam Friday and you have this exam on Wednesday. I'm like, okay.
Wow. Well, good luck with that.
Yep. That's fun. And then my next class, so I'm doing garde manger right now, which is just making sausages. And you know what a pate is?
I know what a patty is.
Like a pate, it's like the gross fancy do you know the meat spreads that people have? Yeah. They're like meat spreads.
That is
disgusting. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it tastes good, but when you think about it, you're like, ew, that's gross.
That's yeah,
so that's my
I
class.
just think of the rat from Critical Role is named Pate. He's dead.
I cooked him.
You made pate.
I made pate out of him. But yeah, it's just a bunch of complicated, fancy rich people food that looks really gross. Or blended meat. Yeah. I made a lot of sausage. That was kind of cool. But anyway, my next class is baking and pastry, so that'll be a lot because that's science. I'm not good at science.
I made fudge last night for the first time. Ooh. Well, okay, technically I tried to make fudge one time and it did not go well at all. But this fudge turned out pretty good. It was a peanut butter chocolate fudge and it's really great. So yeah. It's not really baking. I stuck it in the freezer. It's like the opposite of baking.
I'm making croissants today with a friend and he I'm letting him take care of it because it's a lot. It takes 2 days to make, and you have to it has to be at a certain room temperature, and it has many layers, and you have to fold it each time. And no, I can't do pastry. I'm really bad at it. Yeah. It has measurements. I don't know how to do that stuff.
Oh, see,
Oh.
I like measurements. I like when I'm cooking and like every once in a while the recipe that's like add, enough of this spice until you think it's enough. And I'm like, I don't know that. Tell me how much to put in. Just
Yeah,
tell me what to do because I can't brain.
that's my dad too. But and it's so funny to see my mom and my dad, like, especially like Thanksgiving dinner when my mom's cooking. And then she's like, "Hey, Sal, just go." Oh, sounds weird to say that. Hey, put this in like the stuffing. And my dad's like, "How much?" My mom's like, "I don't know. Just keep putting it in till it's good." My dad's like, "I don't know what that means. I don't want to
Exactly.
ruin it."
Exactly. Kindred spirits.
Yeah. But anyway, that's
Anyway,
that's the stressful life.
well, when your 3-week classes are over, I mean, do you have more 3-week classes after that?
Yes, this is my entire semester's 3-week classes.
Well, there's a light at the end of the tunnel
Thank you.
eventually. So good luck with that. Oh
Yeah.
dear.
Yeah, so I'm gonna have like midterms every like 2 weeks, or maybe like 3-4 weeks.
That's a lot. Yeah, so maybe listeners look forward to more guest podcasts while Lizzie goes to her crazy school.
Yeah.
I'm taking a class called Video Game Theory and Writing.
Ooh, that sounds cool.
Pretty fun. Very different.
Yeah. Are you gonna like write any stories or something?
It's so from what I understand, obviously I've only had one class so far because it only meets once a week. From what I understand, we're gonna create we have like different development softwares, and one of them is almost like a pixely like game where you can like run around. Then some are more like choose your own adventure type stories. So yeah, I'm basically writing stories, but like
Nice.
small ones because video game development takes a very long time, especially if you're one person.
That makes sense, yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds really cool though.
Yeah, I'm taking that. I'm taking Intro to 3D Animation.
Ooh.
Also exciting. I don't know anything about that. So that'll be
It's a lot.
a lot.
Yeah.
And he was like,
Even 2D animation is also a lot.
So yeah, but I will learn a new skill, new software, which is what I'm trying to do. So yeah, pretty fun.
Right.
This is a Star Wars podcast. We have
It
not
is.
talked about Star
Okay.
Wars once.
It is, but catching up is also good.
Catching up, yeah, of course.
Okay. But there was Book of Boba Fett that I had binge watched all of it today because I finally had time to.
Yay.
It was very good.
Yeah, spoiler-free thoughts so far. I guess on episode 3 specifically, we're going to talk about more, but since you didn't get to talk about the first 2 episodes, you can talk about them a little bit too.
Spoiler free, I think they're really good. Like for just any Boba Fett fan, like whether you're a little one or a big one, like it's really good for just Star Wars fans in general too.
I know what you meant by little and big, but I was thinking like a baby.
Yes, like tiny Axel costuming Ezra age.
Yes.
I was looking at pictures because I was trying to remember what costume my mom had a long time ago, and it was just staying, like when she had the stormtrooper with the red hair. And I just found a bunch of pictures of little Axel and like in Ezra, and I thought it was the cutest thing ever. So small. But anyway, yes, it's very good. And it's kind of cool. Like if you watched, I mean, obviously, hopefully everyone's watched Clone Wars, but whatever. But if you watched Clone Wars and saw little tiny Boba, and now you see older Boba and how his personality is and how he's grown and stuff, I think it's really cool. Boba Fett has a tendency of just not bad luck, but like even on like
call it bad luck.
I guess because like when I was reading the War of the Bounty Hunter, he's just so like tired. He's so tired of everything. And just in this show, there like I thought that was really funny. But yes, there was some of that. And I think it's really good. And a lot of people should watch it. And I will try to my hardest to keep up with it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's good. Okay. My spoiler-free thoughts. Also, everyone knows what I thought about the first episodes from last podcast. This episode, I like the last episode. I think episode 2 so far has been my favorite. Like I watched episode 2 and I was like, wow, this show is awesome. And 3, I was like, oh, good episode this week. But
Yeah.
I think 2 was me being like, whoa, crazy.
I really just like Fennec.
Yeah, that's fair.
She's so good.
Taffy has
So
her
cool.
Fennec costume, and I'm very jealous. Not gonna lie. Yeah.
You hear
Alright.
people got mad at. Okay, this is spoilers. I guess.
Okay. Spoiler time. If you
Yeah.
haven't watched the episode, first of all, why'd you click on a podcast about it? That's just silly. Go watch it
Silly.
and then come back and listen to this.
Yes. But apparently a lot of people are getting mad at zippers in Star Wars.
People are always mad about everything.
Okay, but did you see that? Like that was so I couldn't
I
fathom
saw
it.
that. I saw so many things, and it's like, it's just like, first of all, I didn't notice there were zippers. I like,
who was looking?
if you're
so
pausing it to look and see if they have zippers, maybe it's time to take a step back and reevaluate your life choices. I'm not saying you have to love it. You don't have to like something just because I like it. I'm not gonna be like, oh, if you don't like this, you're stupid or whatever. Like, that's just mean. But like, zippers, like, I think, like, maybe chill out. You don't have to like the episode, you don't have to like the show, but maybe if you're getting worked up over a zipper, maybe you should be like,
Chill out.
I think I'm gonna tune out.
Hey, it'll be really nice for whoever's costuming that.
Yeah, that's zippers are great. Yeah,
I was very confused.
Okay. Well, since we're talking about that, I guess we'll talk about the little cyberpunk biker gang. I know they have been the main thing a lot of people are mad at this episode about. I thought they were cool.
Yeah.
I was like, I know people make fun of their speeders. I was like, oh my god, look at their cool speeders.
They look really cool.
And then like I go on like TikTok and everyone's like, oh, this dumb speeder chase with the stupid Power Ranger speeders. I was like, oh, that was like my favorite part of the episode.
I did think it was really cute because it looked very like there's these like bikes that my mom wants to buy.
Vespas?
Yeah.
That's what everyone's calling them, Vespas.
Like in Luca.
Yeah. I know some people are like, oh, they're not Star Warsy enough. I think a retro theme like that is fitting for Star Wars, especially we look at the prequel era, and that's what everything kind of looks like a little bit.
Mm-hmm. I also just like the colors are so nice.
Yeah, I like the colors. I like when things are brightly colored. Maybe that makes me an idiot, but I like it.
Yes.
But I think, and like I know they stood out from Tatooine. Like everyone on Tatooine kind of wears like rags, or at least if they have nice clothes, they're like dull colors. I like their costumes. I like their looks. I know they looked a little more modern. Maybe that threw people off, and I was definitely like, oh, they don't look like they belong on Tatooine. But I think that's the point. That's the point. Like they're not fitting in. They're different, and I don't know. I thought that looked pretty cool.
I thought they were cool, and I just find it so funny how like Boba was like, "Hey, can I adopt like all of you now?"
That's what I was thinking the first couple episodes. I was like, it's a Star Wars show. No children have been adopted yet. We got them. We got the children.
Yeah, so I think they're cool. I didn't even think that anyone would dislike them while I was watching. I was like, they're really cool.
I was like, yeah, these are cool. Like I like the the like I don't know if she's like, I don't think she's a leader, but like that main girl that they focus on a little more, her like fishnet like leggings, like I thought those were neat. I think another thing I thought was funny is people like, oh, they made Boba Fett so weak, like Black Chrysanthemum like just totally beat him, he had to get saved. And it's like, okay, first of all, Black Chrysanthemum's not a weak character. If you look at the comics, he's really good at what he does. Second, Boba was practically naked and got pulled out of a bacta tank. He's a little caught off guard. Like, give the man a break.
Yeah, pretty much. There's something I was gonna say. At first, okay, but so with that whole situation with like the guy coming in and just this entire like show, every time someone like slightly opposes like Boba, I feel like just me and Shannon are like, all right, time to mess him up. But you know, the guy comes in and he's like, well, no one respects you. These kids have been like stealing my water. And then like he goes up to the kids and like the kids are giving attitude. And you know, the audience doesn't really know yet until like later, but that they're stealing water because the guy is like raising the prices so much. So at first, you know, the kid was giving attitude to Bo. I was like, mess him up, mess up these kids. But it's really, and I like Boba's type of leadership. It's so great, and like, I don't know, it's really good.
Yeah, I think I really like the way Boba leaves, and I like Fennec as the foil, being like, I don't like this guy, kill him, and Boba's like, Fennec, chill. I just like that dynamic. I think it's really funny. Yeah, I like Boba the way I know some people are saying he's being too nice. He's still like a crime lord. He's still taking money and stuff.
Yeah.
But he's not gonna stomp down on the common people.
Yeah.
Or let the common people be stomped on. And I think that's I don't think that's inconsistent with his character at all. You know, I mean, Jango Fett was very like, oh, simple man, make my way through the galaxy, and I think Boba Fett is following that. I
like the cutscenes or like the flashbacks that he has of watching his dad leave for like a mission or something. I don't know what it was for, probably a mission. But because I remember when my dad used to read Axel and I these books that were like about Boba Fett, like when he was little, like during that time, and how he would like have these pet fishes. And every time his dad would leave, he would take one and like try to set it free. But every time he did, it got eaten by like a bigger fish, which is really sad. And then later,
a bigger fish.
Yeah, and then Attack of the Clones comes up, and he's on Geonosia, and then he like sees Padme. He's like, "Oh wow, she's really pretty. I wish I had a mom." And then that's it. That's
the story.
Yeah, that's the story. But
and it ends there, and everything's fine for Boba.
Yeah, not like he's wishing for a dad later.
No. Oh man. Yeah, I like the flashbacks. Trying to think, Black Chrysanthemum's so cool. When like the Huts were like, oh, you keep him as a slave. I didn't think Boba was gonna keep him as a slave, but I was like, team up, friends, be friends, but no, not friends.
Adopt
yet. Maybe someday they can be friends.
Hopefully. I'm pretty sure they teamed up in the comics once or twice, but I don't remember. Be friends again. My dad, I'm sure, will be yelling through the car radio thingy and be like, "No, you're wrong," or something.
I'm sure I'm saying his name wrong, and I'm sure I'll hear about it.
Yeah, that's okay. But yeah, Boba Fett in his underwear getting beaten by him. It's not great. But then like the biker gang, they come and save him. Yeah, I thought that was cool. And I love the Gamorreans too.
Yes.
They're the best.
They're so fun.
They need names, but
they do.
I don't have any names at the top of my head. All of them are like offensive, like pork, bacon.
I think they should be named like Animal Crossing villagers.
Someone should draw them as Animal Crossing villagers.
100%. I'm sure someone's drawn a Gamorrean guard as an Animal Crossing villager somewhere.
Hopefully.
Somewhere out there.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think what else happened in the modern timeline, and then we can jump back to the flashback timeline.
Rancor.
Yes. I don't think it's Moochie.
I don't think so either. And that's what I was thinking. I was like, oh my god, what if it's Moochie? And I was like,
Moochie.
Moochie.
The return.
I just thought it was the funniest thing because, they get the Rancor and then he's just like laying there. And Boba's like, is he okay? And then Danny Trejo, oh my god, yes, there was Danny Trejo. I thought that was the best thing ever. So when the Hutts are like, here, we have a gift. It's a Rancor. Sorry for trying to kill you. Danny Trejo comes up. During that, I was like, oh, awesome, we get Danny Trejo. Yeah, that's about, you could keep the Rancor. We'll just take Danny Trejo. It's fine. But Danny Trejo's like, oh yeah, he's just depressed. I'm like, oh,
Rancor.
Yeah, me too. It's okay. That's how I look in my dorm. But yeah, he's so cute. And then Boba mingles with him, and the Rancor is a very emotional animal. And I think that's the best thing ever.
Yeah, Boba and the Rancor's bond was so cute. I just he was just petting it, and he was like, we're gonna be best friends, I'm gonna ride him. And I was like, oh my god, you're so cute. Yeah, it's so cute.
It was the best.
Yeah. I love that scene a lot. I was just like, I really hope he gets to ride the Rancor, because that would be really cool.
It would be really, really cool. Probably take a long time, but
we'll get there.
Yes. But yeah, what's it called? Flashback stuff.
Yeah, flashbacks. That's the Tuscan timeline. I
like how they're doing the flashbacks.
Yeah, I think that's a really cool way, because it's it shows Boba, he's still healing after everything he went through. So we're getting that acknowledgement, at the same time getting a transition that makes sense between two timelines.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's really cool. We did see is it Pelly? Oh shoot, what's her name from The Mandalorian? With the curly hair and the pictroids?
I don't know, but I know what you're talking about.
She was in just walking with her pictroids, and I was like, oh my god, I know her. Hi.
I didn't even see her.
It was in the background when they're putting up this stormtrooper helmet. It's on the spikes. In the background, she's walking by with her. With her pictroids. I was like, I know that lady. Oh my god, so cute. I think the past 2 episodes, I was very, not that I wasn't into the modern timeline, but I was a lot more into the timeline with the Tuscans. I loved what they were doing with the Tuscan culture, and showing them and giving them so much more personality than we all praise the Mandalorian for showing the Tuscans more, and the Mandalorian did do a good job, but this was next level, especially the second episode. Mm-hmm. And I loved that. And this was the first episode where I much more preferred the modern timeline to the Tuscan timeline.
Yes. It was really cool. And I think the first time I saw the Tuscan with the strands of, it's not hair, but it looks like just black hair. Jesus. I was like, oh, that looks like my dad. And I was like,
new costume?
Probably. And I texted my dad, and I was like, hey, what does that one Tuscan look like you? And my dad was like, because she's awesome. I was like, yeah, you're right.
He's great. Trying to think what I was gonna say. I was I talked not on any podcast or anything, just privately with Jonah from Geeky Bubble podcast. And we were both very disappointed with the Tuscans being dead. It's very sad, and I wish we could have seen more of them. And I think I'm trying to figure out how to word this the best, because we had a conversation about it. It was a little like, oh, he killed a village, so now he has a thing to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It was kind of there. I don't know.
Yeah, it was I was like, because I was just watching on my laptop because I was in my dorm. I'm home now, and I was in my dorm when I watched it. And I'm like crying. I'm like, the Tuscans. And then all of a sudden, Black Chrysanthemum's pulling Boba Fett out of the back of the tank. And I was like, wait. And I like wiping my tears, like, wait, I gotta watch. What's going on? Very abrupt, like, oh my God.
We're back. Which, like, I'm sure for Boba, it was also very abrupt.
Oh, for sure. They nailed that feeling perfectly. But I was very sad about the Tuscans, and he had the kid stick, and
yeah. I like that he made his own stick. That's kind of cool. It's like, Disney should do a thing where it's like, build your own Tuscan stick.
But you literally have to like shape the wood, like carve it out like he did. Like it's an actual like labor workshop. I'd do it.
It's like
my gaffy stick would look horrible, but I'd do it.
Yeah.
You have to get a lizard up your nose too for the full experience.
No, please. I was just like, oh, because I saw the lizard. I was like, oh yes, I love lizards.
Safi just got a pet lizard, so I was like, oh my God, Safi's gonna love it, a lizard. And then it went up his nose, and I was like, what?
Yeah, that was a lot. I was like, that's some hardcore drugs. That was not great. But
I was worried. I was like, is he just gonna have that in his brain now? But it came out. So
yeah, it did.
That,
I don't know if I like that it came out. I guess I do.
Yeah, that's up there with Borgullet for Star Wars scenes that make me do a full body cringe.
Yep.
It's not because the scene's bad. It's just because it's bad in a different way.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I think I love the progress, I guess, on the modern timeline of this episode.
Yeah, I just either one. And then I keep thinking every time I see that one Tuscan, I'm like, that's my dad. Looks like my dad in a Tuscan costume.
I always thought of Safi with the little kid Tuscan, because it was the way it moved its head reminded me of how Safi moves her head when she's in her Tuscan. Like the very specific, I don't know how to explain it. You just have to see Safi in her Tuscan, and you'll understand, especially when she was first getting used to it. But I'm like, that's Safi, that child. My sister.
I don't like Jawas in the first episode. They're jerks.
Oh, Jawas is the best. Are you kidding?
They're jerks.
They rifle bashed him in the skull. It was awesome.
No, they're jerks.
So funny. Safi and I fist bumped when we watched it. Jawa power.
I would fist bump you in the face.
Jawa power.
No, it's just so rude.
It was funny though.
It was funny.
Counterpoint.
But it was rude.
It made me laugh.
I was still concerned for Boba.
Well, he's fine. He made it out eventually.
He got his armor back eventually.
He did. I guess I don't know what else to say about the episode. I liked it overall. There were a few things I was like, really? But mostly the Tuscans dying, actually, that was the only thing. If you didn't like it, that's okay too. don't throw tantrums over zippers. There are better ways to spend your time and your energy.
And yeah, just don't. Just stop. It's like the people that got mad at like the bombs in the bombs in
Last
space.
Jedi.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just you don't have to like things, but you can not like it. You don't have to shut up if you don't like it necessarily. Just like
Calm down.
yeah, relax. It's okay. It's fake and in space.
It's not a plot hole.
Yeah, also learn what a plot hole is. Like learn the actual definition, please.
Yes.
For me.
For specifically Zoe.
For me. For your local film student. Please learn what a plot hole actually is. It's not just something you don't like or don't understand. It's specifically, I'm going to explain it.
I want to know. I want to like look through every character now and see who has a zipper. Anyway, continue.
Someone else has to have a zipper. It's not. It cannot just be these. Someone else has a zipper. That's ridiculous. I do not believe that there are no other zippers in Star Wars. Anyway, a plot hole is when a story gives you one piece of information and gives you another piece of information that directly conflict each other, and there's like isn't an explanation. Just because it's not a plot hole, that's what a plot hole is. Just because it's not a plot hole doesn't always mean it's good writing, but like it's
Think of Five Nights at Freddy's. That's it. Those are just plot holes over theories over theories. It's fun.
Yeah. Or like think like I'm trying to think of the example someone had that was a really good one. I think it was X-Files or something, and someone was like, the plot says, like they said that this character was in this location, and then 2 hours later we're in this, and this isn't exact time. This is just like an example. And then 2 hours later we're in this location. But they also stated that these two locations are 8 hours apart. That's a plot hole because you're giving two pieces of information and there isn't an explanation to fit them together. You can be given two pieces of information.
She walked really fast.
If the reason, it doesn't have to be explained, but if you can think of an explanation in some way that will fit, even if it's a little convoluted, then it's not a plot hole. Education with Zoe. Don't misuse the word plot hole. Education. If you think it's bad writing, just call it that.
Yes. Good job.
Yeah.
You really showed him.
That's my pet peeve. I have many pet peeves, and one of them is when people misuse plot hole. Or when they say cinematography when they mean other things.
What is cinematography?
It's just like the camera work. A lot of times lighting falls under it. But sometimes people be like, oh, I really like how the set looks. Great cinematography. It's like, no, the set would be the mise en scène or the set design. The cinematography is how they show the set. It's different.
I see.
Or sometimes they'll be like, oh, this music was great. Great cinematography. It's like, no.
Wait, what?
Not cinematography. Yes. I should do a podcast. It's just all my pet peeves and me explaining things.
I think it would be very long.
It would be so long. I have so many pet peeves. I'm a very easily annoyed person. But not by
that many pet peeves like in my career thingy.
If you watch me cook, I'm sure you could find some.
Probably. I mean, just the messy station kind of makes me so angry. Like, it's because I try to clean as I go, like, because I just don't like messy station. I will have the messiest room ever. It's not messy right now because I cleaned it, but I will have the messiest room. But at like school or work, it's just clean. There's also actually I have one, but it's mostly when I'm in school. So when I'm at school and I'm like, just doing my thing, just at school, just learning and in class. And then there's the one guy or girl, whoever, and they're like, "Ugh, I don't know why I'm here. Like, I've already worked in a restaurant." I'm like, "But why are you here?" Then go, just leave. Like,
Oh jeez.
and he's like, "Well, I already know all this. I don't need to learn it again." I'm like, "Okay, don't go here. It's like it's a school."
That's
Or
a
they're
that's a good pet peeve.
yeah, it's like they'll like I would mess something up and certain people would be like, "How do you not know how to do that?" I'm like, I'm literally here to learn. I am literally here to learn what the hell is a pate. Sorry. Just oh, they're so annoying.
That sounds annoying. Next time I cut an onion, I'll take a video and you can see how I do it and cry.
It's fine. Those things are fine. It's just like as long as you're doing it, as long as you're getting the onion,
It gets cut eventually. Does it look nice?
eventually.
Oh geez. I can't really think of anything else to say about the podcast. I feel like, or about the podcast, about the episode. I feel like we covered it. I think.
I'm really excited for the Rancor.
Rancor. Oh, here's Star Wars news, and by Star Wars news I mean me news, but Star Wars related. I
yes.
got an Oculus Quest 2.
Oh wow.
So I've been playing Vader Immortal. It's pretty good.
My dad
it's
wants
really,
to play that.
It's when if he hasn't played it by the time Celebration rolls around, I will bring it to California. He can play all he wants.
Yes.
What was I gonna say?
You play a lot of Vader.
Vader Immortal. It's really scary because the robots come at me. My lightsaber form is holding out my arm and just shaking my wrist wildly and hoping I hit the robot that attacks me. And it works sometimes. But there's this big Rancor thing, but it has like 4 arms and it chased me. And I was screaming and Safi was laughing at me. And so I saw it was like right after I watched the episode. It's like that Rancor.
The only time I've like done VR things was the thing with I think it was you and me and Axel. But like just at like a household, my parents thought it would be so funny, quirky, haha, if I did the VR, but it was you going down the ocean in a cage where there were sharks.
I think I've heard about this. That sounds horrible.
Horrified. I wanted to cry. And it's not like I could close my eyes, but you could still hear like the banging on the cage and you can still like and then my parents thought it'd be hilarious to start shaking the couch that I was sitting on.
No, VR is no joke. Because I'm a big roller coaster, like I wouldn't call myself like an adrenaline junkie, but I'm like big roller coaster person. Like if there's a roller coaster, I need to ride it so I can feel something. And so there's this thing, it was like VR roller coasters. I was like, great, I'm a crazy roller coaster person. And so I did the first one, it was like comfortable coaster. And I was like, all right, I'll just try it out. And it was like, I was like getting woozy. Like, which normally doesn't happen in other VR games. But this was like 30 seconds in, I was like, I'm gonna fall over. This is not like, it's something about it like moving, but not, VR is very, I mean, it's a point, it's immersive, but it's like too much sometimes.
I almost cried.
Yeah, Safi was like, oh, there's a Five Nights at Freddy's VR game. And I was like, I would pee my pants. Literally.
Yeah, it's called Help Wanted. And
Help Wanted, yeah.
You fix the animatronics. Oh.
Yeah, and
if you can play it, I would. It's really fun. But
I can't.
You will cry.
I cannot play Five Nights at Freddy's. Like when it first came out and it was like the first night free for the first game on your phone, I couldn't even play it on that tiny little phone screen. Like
I have it on my iPad right now, and I beat Five Nights at Freddy's 6.
No, I'm such a little baby when it comes to horror games of any capacity. I could not in VR.
That's me with zombie games.
I'm
but
such
then
a baby.
But then sometimes I'm like in bed and I'm like, it's after class and I'm like, I need adrenaline. I need I need something. So then I'm like, okay, what games do I have? Oh, I have Resident Evil. I have Resident Evil 2. I have Resident Evil 3 and 4. What do those have? Zombies.
Yeah, I used to play Left 4 Dead and stuff. But I never thought zombies scared me that much. But for some reason, the What If episode Zombies, the Marvel show, that zombie episode gave me like nightmares for 2 days. For some reason, that one got to me really bad.
What was it? Yeah, my roommate for my first year said that she wanted someone to watch #alive with her. And I was like, oh, what is it? She was like, it's a zombie movie. It's a Korean zombie movie. And I was like, oh my God. And I was like, sure, but only if you watch Mandalorian with me. And she was like, okay, that sounds fine. I was like, lit. And then I watched it, and it's really good. It's a really good movie. But oh my God, I had nightmares for like a month. Especially specifically because he's in a small room, and it's not a dorm room, but it's small enough to be like a dorm room. Like it's an apartment. And there's one part where like there's a zombie at the door, and it's like banging at the door, and it's a corridor, like a hallway to the door. And I had that in my dorm. It was like a little small hallway to the front door. And I wanted to cry because then the like main character puts a fridge in front of the door, and then oh my God, it was a lot.
You should watch Train to Busan.
I've heard of that one too.
It's
She didn't watch Mandalorian with me.
Probably my favorite Korean movie on a train. Korean directed movie on a train.
Someone
second favorite is Snowpiercer, and I don't know any other ones.
Yeah, Katie, that my roommate, said that #alive was very good, and she watched the train one, and that it was pretty similar, just like in like how good it was. Mm-hmm. So yeah, you should watch it. It's on Netflix still, I think.
Yeah, I'll look into it. I have so many things to watch.
Yeah, I have so many things to do.
Yeah, that's yeah. Okay, Boba Fett. I can't think of anything else. I love Fennec.
Fennec is cool.
I can't remember if I said this privately to Jonah or on the first episode podcast, but I was thinking, how cool would it be if Fennec, not that I want her to get hurt, but what if Fennec gets hurt and they put her in the bacta tank? Because they did put that one Gamorrean in the bacta tank, Boba said. So it's clearly not just his. So like they put Fennec in the bacta tank, and then we get Fennec flashbacks.
That'd be cool. We should have seen Gamorrean flashbacks too. Then equality.
This is pig oinks.
Yeah. He's like getting taken from his family. He's like in slavery for a long time with the Hutts.
Okay. Then, I was just thinking like, oh, baby piggy.
No.
I wonder what a good baby Gamorrean looks like. I'm gonna Google it.
How's that great?
It's a little bit ugly. Not gonna lie. Oh wait, this one's really cute. Gamorrean baby.
Oh, yeah. They're not horrible. They're just shorter.
Special.
But
all right. Yeah. I guess we'll wrap up the podcast unless you have anything else to say about Boba Fett.
No, not really. Just excited for the next episode.
Yes, I'm excited to see where they go from here. I assume Boba will be in the flashback timeline, be hunting down those biker gang people. But we'll see what else happens in the other timeline too. Lots of stuff going on for Boba. All right, Star Wars Geek Girl. You obviously know we're listening to the podcast. You can check out the Facebook page. It's just Star Wars Geek Girl. Twitter and Instagram at SW Geek Girl. And then StarWarsGeekGirl.com. There's a monthly poll this month. We want to know what Star Wars thing you're most looking forward to in 2022. I post book reviews on Mondays. I'm almost finished High Republic, The Fallen Star, which is crazy. Such a good book, and I'm not even done yet. So yeah, read those. I post a quiz on Wednesdays and blog articles on Fridays. Our last blog article was sponsored by Diff Eyewear, who did a Star Wars sunglasses / blue light glasses collection. Check that out.
Nice. For the Rogue Rebels, you can find us at theroguerebels.com. Instagram and TikTok is at the Rogue Rebels, Twitch at Rogue Rebels, podcast wherever you find Star Wars Geek Girl, Facebook page The Rogue Rebels, and Twitter at Rogue Rebels Fam.
Yay! Those are all the plugs. Check all those things out. When episode 4 comes out, we'll try to get a podcast out about that as well.
Yes.
You good?
Yes, I just moved a little and I was like, oh, I almost fell back.
Okay.
Sorry. My bad.
Thank you for listening to Star Wars Geek Girl. I was Zoe.
I was Lizzy and I almost died, but yes.
May the force be with you, and goodbye.
Goodbye.
Star Wars Geek Girls. They're geek girls that like Star Wars. And sometimes cry.